Welcome to Cards of Insight, where we discuss all things tarot. And I'm Greg, and I live in London.
Anna here, joining you all the way from sunny Brazil.
Susan here. I'm here in Canada.
And Pavlina, greetings from London, UK.
And we are all tarot readers.
The next night.
Okay. All right. Knight of Pentacles. That's the guy on the horse holding a coin, moving absolutely nowhere. Right. Knight of Pentacles. If a Knight of Pentacles wife found out her husband burnt the family savings on a sports car, what would she do? So if the wife is the Knight of Pentacles and her husband's burnt all the family savings on a sports car, what would she do?
She was married to the Knight of Wands, I guess.
Yes.
Oh dear.
I think she would return the car.
Can you?
For a family car.
Can you return
She would return that car. You can return a car.
You can. Okay. Yeah,
You
I
can.
agree. If you can.
Within
yes.
a certain time limit. Like it's not like it's, usually there's a time limit unless there's something like if the car, depending on the age of the car, if it's a new car, like there is a return on it. And you can, if it breaks down, like whatever, and it's under warrant, if you've got warranty on it, yes, you can return that car.
Good.
But there's also kind of a buyer, I realize, oh no, I shouldn't have bought it, whatever. So I could see her very quickly taking her Knight of Wands husband to the dealership and saying, we're returning the car. And then she'd be working on a deal with the salesperson, because there can be like that because it's a salesperson, and he'd want to sell her something else. So you would see the dynamics then of her negotiating to get a different car or to get that money back without penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what about...
That's what I think would happen here.
And never allow her husband access to the family savings ever again. They would have separate accounts. She would have her own number, and he would have no way of accessing that money ever again. That could even, lead to a divorce.
Yeah, he probably doesn't have any money in the account that's called his.
Yeah.
But what about if they have money, right? It's a safe in the family. They are from the rich family. I think in that case, she would not return the car, but told her husband, I will ride the car as well, because everybody has to see my Ferrari, right? The car, we will share it together and show it to the public, because what's yours, it's mine.
So yeah, also get the queen, the Knight of Coins is stagnation, and she's found out her husband's bought a car, and she probably would return it, but then she would take that money and lock it up, and they can only touch it when they get to a certain age. So it's locked up. It will be stagnant. They won't be able to touch it. She'd probably invest it somewhere. You know those ones where you put the money in, you can only take it out at a certain age, or
after 5
like
years
almost
or
like a
something like that.
pension,
Yeah. Yeah. And if she bought a second car, she would buy a reliable car, a Volvo. She wouldn't buy a sports car. She would buy a car that would last her lifetime. Not really something flashy to show the neighbors.
No, because buying a new car is change. They don't like change. Knight of Coins don't like change.
Yeah, that's true.
No, they're going to drive that station wagon for 40 years.
They would, yes. If it's still working and it's not costing money, yes, they would. Because why get a new car? This car's absolutely fine. It's done me fine for the last 40 years. The chair's nicely molded to my bum.
The new one will be worse anyway. So,
Won't have an ashtray anymore.
you know what occurred to me? Can Pentacles people be hoarders?
Yes,
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
definitely.
If they're
Yes.
attached to the
They,
value of things that they trust, I mean, they would never throw
yes.
anything away. I mean, that toaster that doesn't work 100%, well, it still works. So
The
let's
other
keep it
side
in case we
works.
need it.
We can do one slice in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I think the wife wouldn't like that sports car because it's too fast. Sports cars means fast, right?
Yes.
He doesn't like to be
Yeah.
quite fast.
Flashy too fast.
Well,
Too
plus
expensive.
plus the plushy leather seats, the
Yeah.
convertible idea to it. It's
Uh-huh.
like no, 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 no. It's not just not going to happen here.
Yeah,
And you can dig
definitely.
into their personality as well with the Knight of Coins because of the stagnation. You can say they're very stubborn. So if the wife says send that car back, you're gonna go. She's not going to change her mind. That car needs to go back because she won't change her mind. So they can be extremely stubborn, very stubborn. The Knights of Coins cards.
Yeah, he'd be locked out of the bedroom.
Yeah. Well, if you think they're not stubborn, try and get him to move. See if he moves. Good luck. I found a way to get him to move though.
Yeah.
But what he does is he goes back to where he was. So that Knight of Coins there, if you take his coin, he'll walk off the card and then he'll come back and stand back in the card again with the coin. He'll go and get it and bring it back.
Can you imagine the husband is Knight of Swords? Right? That would be, he likes to drive fast. He doesn't see hitchhikers, that's safe there. But
Can you see the Mexican standoff?
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
big way. Not that much in heaven.
She'd probably hide his keys.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But I think the Knight of Coins might do good for the Knight of Swords because it will
Swords,
calm the
yes.
Knight of Swords
Yeah.
down, bring some stability to their life.
Mhm. Yeah.
So the Knight of Swords would have to be home the same time every night because that's the time dinner is. And dare he be late because she's the Knight of Coins. The dinner is at 6. That's it. It doesn't change.
It'd be a very fiery relationship.
I
Yes.
think she would give him the keys in the certain time and you can ride the car. And
Yeah, it wouldn't be a
Yes.
boring relationship.
No.
No, even though you think it would, but it wouldn't be. Because she stands her ground, right? She's a queen of a Knight of Coins. They stand their ground. They won't budge. So if somebody says, are you going to go and speak to that guy about that car? Do you think he's going to budge with your new offer? And if the Knight of Pentacles comes up, forget it. You got no
And
chance.
she will give him the time frame. She will say, you've got just one day to do that. The timer is set now.
And he knows it's one day.
He
That's what she
probably
said.
would have to hide his toys from her. Because he probably has, a fast car. He's got one of those doom buggies. He's got, even his bike would be high end. Like it's all about speed but he would like his toys. He's probably a gamer. So
Yeah, he would be because that's not moving around much. He's a
Yep.
fixed Earth. I mean, how more stagnant do you get than that?
yeah, yeah,
So a gamer definitely he'll be in his room the whole time, wouldn't they? They wouldn't move.
yeah.
You've been in that room in the same boxes for 3 days.
Oh, boy.
Oh dear.
Yeah, they can do that. Knight of Coins. Not to say they're lazy, they're just comfortable. Why change? I mean, they haven't gone anywhere. It's not dirty.
No, and as well, it reminds me what they would wear the same one with the holes as well, right?
Yeah.
If it's not falling apart, that's it.
Yeah. Or like a kid with their baby blankie. You can't get that baby blankie off it and they have to outgrow it. And you hope that they outgrow it. You guys want to do another question?
Sure.
Okay. If the Knight of Pentacles had a tattoo, what would it be?
Family heirloom.
Tough one.
Yeah, I was thinking a
Yeah.
cross.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Not the name of the current girlfriend. It has to be something that they know will last as much as the tattoo until they die. It is something to stay there forever. Yeah.
Yes.
Their dog, the tattoo of their dog,
Mhm.
or a kid, or their kid, or the name of their mom as a tribute or something like that.
I'd keep it so simple and even say a star because he's holding a star in his hand.
Yeah, the cross too. Yeah, the cross too,
Yeah.
or even
Yeah.
a word or saying from the Bible if you want. I mean, but something that they wouldn't regret and would have to take away in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. It'd be connected to their belief system,
Yeah.
Yes.
whatever their belief system is.
But I think it will be not that visible as well. You know?
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Not on their brow
It
or neck
yes,
or
not on
something.
the face, not on the brow.
You know, sometimes you get a tattoo and then later in life you regret it.
Yeah.
The Knight of Coins wouldn't do that. He would have a tattoo, like was pointed out earlier, that he would have for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So he'd probably put some thought into it, like, oh, maybe I feel differently a few years later, so let me put something that I can keep for life.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
and
be
he wouldn't be
small.
the person he wouldn't regret it and want to remove it later. He wouldn't do that.
Hmm.
No.
Yeah, not big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas a Knight of Swords would be covered in tattoos and then one day go, what the hell have I done?
Yeah. But maybe there would be consideration, will I spend that money on tattoo? Right?
Oh, that
Yeah.
too.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying it'd be small,
Yeah.
Mm.
like a small, but it would be meaningful. It could be, a very small thing on his arm, like kind of more of a traditional spot,
Yeah.
or it might be on his ankle where the socks would cover it.
Yeah, would cover. I agree with the size, but I also think that depending on what this person, believes in,
Mhm.
they would be willing to pay more for a really well done tattoo.
Yeah.
If they knew that there was this artist who had amazing work, kind of expensive, but super safe, super well done, and that would last a lifetime, he would be willing to spend money on that. And it depends. It's quality. They are about saving, but they're also about quality. They would be willing to spend more if the quality deserves that spending, if it justifies that spending.
Yeah, I could see the family crest if he had a family crest on his arm or whatever,
Good one, yeah.
something traditional.
Family, yeah, heirloom or something like that, yeah. Or just
Yeah.
simply pentacle, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking earlier. Yeah, pentacle would make sense too. So next question.
Okay. Next question.
Mhm.
Where will the Knight of Pentacles show up given a situation? Where are they at their best or not their best?
Not the best, stubborn, right?
Oh, stubbornism, you terrible, 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 terrible. Fixed earthman. I think they're the most stubborn. It'll make a good discussion. We can do this in another podcast. The Knight of Pentacles versus the Two of Swords.
Yes, yeah.
But I would certainly say consistent, reliable.
System, reliable, practical.
Yeah.
Practical.
So I could see them showing up every Sunday for mom's family dinner and bringing her exactly what she wanted each week, whether it's a casserole or a salad or whatever. So he would always be there for that event.
Rain, snow, or hail, he'll be there. Or she.
Yes.
reliable some way.
Very reliable. Yeah.
And if you ask them to do something a certain way, they will not deviate from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Responsible too.
Yeah,
Extremely
they
responsible.
would be their very best at that. Making a compromise might not be their strongest point because these are the rules and I need to stick with them. But you can make an exception. No, I can't because I'm the Knight of Coins. I don't make exceptions. That's the rules. We've done that for years, eons.
I have a question, and it has to do with the card itself. That man is holding a coin and looking at pastures or a field where supposedly, he's waiting for things to harvest in the future. Now, would this guy, which is stubborn and resilient and reliable and doesn't like to change things, what if he realizes that what he planted is not exactly what he wants midway? It's almost like a Seven of Pentacles feel. You look at what you planted and say, oh my God, this is not really what I want. Or it's not coming out the way I envisioned it. Would he be willing to give this up and start something else? Or would he insist on the, let's say, quote unquote, mistake because he has convictions? And that's what he's doing.
Yes, he's very stubborn. So if he discovers that those aren't the plants that he wanted, that's it. It's not the ones he wanted. He would start again. Yes.
Also, he wouldn't continue.
No, because it's
that's
not
his
what he
project.
wants. We're not changing it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it depends on the context because if he can,
Also that, yes, Pamela, yes.
because if he will believe in future it will bring some results, right?
Mm.
And it will bring something good for the family, for him or her, that Knight of Pentacles will continue, right? Because when they start investment, they just will continue. But if they won't see that as an investment for the family and for the future for themselves, eventually, so they would drop it. But that's very rarely, I think, they would do that.
Yeah, because there's a time frame here. When you say future, there's different types of future. If he expects results in, let's say, 5 years, and it's been 4.5, and the results are definitely not going to come, would he still wait? Would he, go back? I think it depends on how much time he decided to allow this to bring him any profit or bring him good results.
Well, and the thing is with a plant, depending on when, like here, you just can't, we have a very short season. So if you've planted the wrong thing, you've got to know that if you rip it out and try to put something that you wanted originally in, you may never see it, the growth of that plant because the season will have ended. So that it's very practical.
I was thinking more likely about the sense of investment, right?
Yeah. It's just a figure of speech, right? It's a metaphor. I mean, it's whatever you invested on or whatever you wanted to work on is not really giving you what you expected. Do you insist on it or do you give up and go for something else? Because they're so stubborn. They're so persistent.
I think they will take forever to make the decision because they will observe every single detail of the aspects and then make decision.
Or cut their losses and move on and do something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they would have to face up and cut their losses. They would be not happy about it, but I don't think they would have the choice. So I think they would live with their decision.
And they're certainly patient, so they'll probably go, you know what, I'll sleep on this. Let's see what we're going to do in the next couple of days. No rush. I've gone this far anyway. Might as well finish it, follow it through.
Yeah.
If I wait a couple of days, I might as well finish it. And so they've got patience. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
Not their best. When I said earlier, not their best is because I said like make a compromise. Now, no, I'm not making a compromise because they're stubborn. The reason he won't make a compromise is not because he's got no empathy or anything like that, because you need to be consistent. Because if I do that for you, I have to do it for other people. So it's just no, because it's consistency, not because they mean, because that's the way it's done, and they're consistent.
Some things take longer.
Yeah.
It's
So
funny
as a
because
weakness changed, that's where their weakness is, to change or start something new. I think is their weakness.
you see that this knight, Greg, is the opposite of the Knight of Swords. This knight, he embraces the time. Time is his friend.
Yeah.
And in the
Yes,
Knight of Swords,
definitely.
he fights against time. Time is the oppressor. Time is the enemy. Here, time is his friend.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
They would make an interesting couple.
Oh yes, they would be very interesting.
Okay, another question.
Yep.
Last question.
This is a tasty question, because if the Knight of Pentacles were to go to a restaurant, right, would he be seen at a fast food, a family restaurant, a high-end buffet?
All above.
All of them? Where would you find him?
Depends on the budget, he would say, no?
Oh, right. Depend on the budget. Okay.
I think it depends all of them, but the high end. I think the high end, it depends on how much food they offer. If it is a high end that gives you 2 grams of beef and charges you $500 for that 2 grams of beef, he wouldn't go there.
Right.
He wants to pay, but he wants food. He doesn't want a painting on his plate. So fast food, yes, because it's cheap, right? Not much money to spend. Family restaurant, yes, because Pentacles is really family oriented. Buffet, yes. Yeah, you pay a fixed amount and,
And you can go back. And you can go back.
You have refills and so on. But the high end, depends. It really depends.
I think so. I think they could be like loving the food and experience. They could be chefs as well themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of Pentacle. Because maybe the high end, they would go to the restaurant with the business partner to convince them to sign the contract, right?
Or if the company is paying for dinner, then he would go.
Oh, yeah, he'd go.
From his own pocket.
No brainer.
And it would be budget dependent, because if they go to a restaurant once a month, it's going to be once a month. And the table will be booked in advance, and it's every month. So if you're going for your restaurant every month, if you haven't got so much of a tight budget, then the Knight of Coins would go according to the budget. But if you're a Knight of Coins that likes food and you've got a bit of spare income and you like your food, I would say you would go to the high end or the buffet, and you would do that because you've got patience and you're going to wait for your food to come out, and you're going to have a starters, chat, and the drinks come out, and then the starters, you get comfortable. Then the main course comes out, then you have a dessert, and everything's all nice. And so that's what they would do, because it's nice and slow and they've got patience. And coins cards love their senses. So they like
earthly
food,
pleasures.
music,
All the
earthly
earthly
pleasures, the
Yes,
smell of
pleasures.
the fresh air. So just being in that restaurant, smelling the food and listening to the people and talking to whoever you've gone with and tasting the new house wine and talking to the people. It's all a slow process like this, and they will go everywhere. And then they would take the high end or the buffet.
I don't think he'd be spontaneous. I think he has his favorite.
No.
He has his favorite.
Yeah. He's even the regular in certain
He's the
restaurants.
regular.
So
if a friend said, well, we always go to if it was the Knight of Swords, and they're saying, well, we always go to that Chicken Delight, whatever. Can't we go somewhere different for a change? And they would say,
Mexican
no,
today?
what are you talking about? You get, like they've got this and they've got this. Like, what's your problem? Yeah, I think they would have their favorites, and getting them off their favorites would be really difficult.
What if they take their favorite dish off the menu?
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
What for a Knight of Coins? They'll be
Yeah.
devastated.
Yeah,
They'll put in a complaint and everything. 'Cause
Yep.
now they've got to
they'll
find somewhere
talk to
else
the
to go.
manager. And then what
Yeah.
Yes.
happened?
You've changed their routine. Are you mad?
Yes, yes. But you see, on the other hand, I think Knight of Pentacles could mean the personal love to show off money as well, some way, right? Luxuries, So it really depends on the context of the question, right? It's not just saving the money always, but it could be as well
Yeah.
showing the coins to other people, right?
Well, if they're a connoisseur of wines or
Yeah.
really, I think if they were raised with that, like they were raised with fine wines, they were raised with good food, really good food, and having a very solid understanding of it, I think, yeah, they would. Definitely. But I think they would have their favorite places to go, and
Of
they would
course,
not,
yeah.
getting them to go off, try something new would be really difficult.
Mhm.
I don't know. I would see the Knight of Coins taking fast food only because they had to.
Mhm.
Because
Cheap.
yeah,
It's
it's
cheap.
cheap. It's,
It's
They're
cheap.
cheap.
so for that reason, yeah.
Yeah,
If they've
it's
got
just
patience,
cheap.
wouldn't they go and just buy something and rather
No,
just
it's not
make their
because
own
it's
food?
fast. It's because it's cheap.
It's
But
cheap.
you can go and
Cheap.
buy food and make your own food. That's also cheap.
Yeah,
Mm.
but what if you don't feel
Yeah.
like cooking? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
Like
okay.
we're talking, if they're going out to dinner, like where would they most likely go? And I think they would look at, well, what's good, what's cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could be a fast food place or like the other choices, except for the high end place, unless it's fat. Well, not necessarily. It'd have to be a really, really good reason why they would go to high end.
Yes, and they will go the same day, like on Tuesday when tacos are half price, right?
Yes. And
Exactly.
they would probably get the coupons as well.
Yes.
The coupons, yes, yes, yes. And they would, yeah, that's where you
Happy
would go for
hour.
your first date.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you take them for takeaway on the first date.
Oh, hey.
Where are you going to eat the takeaway? It's takeaway.
Where?
Yeah.
Well, it could be in the food court
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, wow. Yeah.
or in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay, see you next week done with the queens, right?
Yes.
Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and follow us. And feel free to leave a comment.